जिंदाबाद 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 दिल्ली पुलिस की तानाशाही नहीं चलेगी नहीं चलेगी दिल्ली पुलिस की तानाशाही नहीं चलेगी नहीं चलेगी दिल्ली पुलिस की तानाशाही नहीं चलेगी नहीं चलेगी दिल्ली पुलिस
Hello viewers, this happened in Delhi. Venue was the We20 Peoples Summit, a 3-day conference organized by over 70 people's movements, trade unions and civil society groups. The police came knocking on the second day of the conference on August 18th. They asked for immediate closure of the event. Gates were closed. Many participants were denied entry.
You don't touch me. I have authority. You move your hand. You remove your hand. You can't touch me. I will not touch you. I'm talking to the ladies.
For some time, it was a standoff, but later police withdrew. But on the third day, they came armed with official documents which denied conducting such an event, and the meeting had to be called off halfway. Why was the police so pissed off with the event? Because the union government was. And why was the union government so? How can a group of people coming together to discuss some matters make them afraid? The answer is in the name, We20. The India government is also hosting a summit. It's called G20 or Group of 20. Some call it Great 20. It also has a nickname of Gang of 20. It's a summit where top leaders of 20 important countries, according to some standards of the globe, coming together. It happens every year, and it's happening in India this month to discuss and, if possible, decide a lot of things. India has been preparing for it for a year with almost 1,000 crore rupees earmarked for it. It's rumored that crores and crores have been already spent for its advertisement. We will come to how the preparations are going on later. The government was suspicious. We20 caught their attention. Why did they pick such a name? What are they doing there? What do they want? People in the power corridor of Delhi must have been wondering. Well, the suspicion wasn't totally misplaced, I must admit. The summit was called to highlight the voices and concerns of marginalized communities. Also to focus on some issues that need immediate attention, like climate crisis, food shortage, labor rights, health and so on. These concerns and communities are often excluded from mainstream economic debates and discussions. And G20 is also such a high table which has a history of being pro-rich and always anti-poor. Some speakers in the We20 summit, which the police finally closed down, did come down heavily on the world leaders and the G20, especially under the presidency of India.
What is really extraordinary about this G20 is that it has been the least productive presidency since the G20 started. It is the first G20 जिसमें आज तक कोई common एक communique तक नहीं निकला पिछला जो meeting था. We have not even managed to get a common communique क्योंकि यूक्रेन war को लेके अभी तक conflict चल रहा है तो कोई मतलब कॉमन स्टेटमेंट तक नहीं निकाल पाए. मगर जो मुद्दे उन्होंने कहा था कि हम उठाएंगे, the things that he said we would raise and talk about, उन पे कुछ नहीं हुआ. ना डेट रिलीफ पे कुछ हुआ, ना टैक्सेशन पे आगे बढ़ा, बल्कि थोड़ा पीछे ही हो गया क्योंकि OECD वाले ने उनका कर दिया. जो हुआ टैक्सेशन पे जो कुछ फायदा हुआ है अफ्रीकन यूनियन की वजह से हुआ.
Along with talking about privatization, along with talking about exploitation of minerals, forests, private agencies, we should talk with the same breath and conviction about fighting the corrosive hate that is being deliberately perpetrated in our country with a political motive. Because let's not forget that it is dividing even people's movements and the people into silence. I am not saying people's movements have become communal.
So what? Is dissent banned in the country? Is our government so intolerant to criticism? Well, it seems so. But the funny part is that our government is protecting our country before the G20 summit and its leaders as the mother of democracy. Hope you got the irony.
मैसेज तो पूरी दुनिया में यही जाएगा कि कि भारतीय लोकतंत्र में आप बातचीत ही एक बंद कमरे में ही नहीं होने दे रहे हो क्योंकि वो बातचीत आपको पसंद नहीं। अरे भाई सुनो तो सही, उसका सामना करो, शब्दों का सामना करो। लेकिन आप ये करने लग जाओगे कि आप गेट बंद कर दोगे। लोग जो बोलने वाले हैं सेमिनार में, 3 दिन का प्रोग्राम है, सबके सामने खुला है, दिख रहा है कौन किस चीज पर बोलने वाला है। आज जो कानून पास हो रहे हैं उस पर टिप्पणियां हो रही है, देश में लोगों की स्थिति पर टिप्पणी हो रही है, उस पर बात नहीं होगी। कमाल है।
It's another instance of curbing the democratic rights of the people to discuss their issues. This was happening in a closed door premises, private premises, without disrupting any law and order, without disrupting any laws. And it's condemnable that the police is insisting that meetings in private halls needs police permission. And if it's not a police state, then what is it?
Clamping down on the summit proves that the concerns raised there in the summit are more serious and need immediate attention. It was evident even before that. For the preparations of G20, the country witnessed massive forced evictions. In Delhi alone, 250,000 houses were demolished because they didn't have proper documents. Very, very poor people. For some 200 smaller meetings of G20 conducted in different parts of the country, it's reported that in 60 places, such evictions has happened. All this has been well covered and documented.
नहीं आएंगे, नहीं आओगे, कुछ भी आप नहीं, प्लीज हम आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करें, नहीं आओगे।
And what happened to the V20?
So today we all are here online, and I think the sessions which we could not organize.
Well, the disrupted sessions did happen virtually within a week. All the speakers who were supposed to speak in Delhi summit presented their case. A lot of participants came to hear. And now, state level meetings of We20 are happening in different parts of India. What happened to the We20 summit in Delhi is not just a police action, it's more than that. The constitutional right of freedom of expression and right to assembly are threatened. Whatever you are, whoever you are, and whatever you represent, and whichever concern you are supposed to raise, it doesn't matter. If the government doesn't like you, you are not allowed to express, fulfill your constitutional rights. We have to defend it now. Adani's conglomerate is back in the news. A new investigation report has put names and faces into allegations of share price manipulation.
Months after a report by short seller Hindenburg that alleged stock manipulation by the Adani Group, a new report by the George Soros-funded Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project has leveled fresh charges against the conglomerate.
A new investigation from the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project has come up with the names and details of 2 men who invested in the Adani Group. Is that a crime? No. But these 2 guys have close ties to the Adani family. They have been in the director board of some Adani companies and shareholders in some others. The names are Nasser Ali Shahban Ahli and Chan Chung Ling. Ahli is a US citizen and businessman. Chan Chung Ling is a Taiwan-based investor. They have been trading hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Adani Group shares for years. Now the next information makes the investigation report more interesting. The investment funds they used to trade in Adani stocks received instructions from a company controlled by Vinod Adani, the elder brother of none other than Gautam Adani. The Congress immediately trained guns on the Chinese angle. Rahul Gandhi demanded inquiry into the presence of Chan Chung Ling in the Adani share dealings. But that's not the real picture or the real story. When the Hindenburg report had rocked the nation, the Supreme Court had formed an expert committee to look into it. Even before that, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, was investigating Adani. All probes were to find out mainly one thing: who are behind the overseas entities that are holding Adani stocks in huge numbers. Is it by Adani Group itself? Then it violates the law of share ownership in India. But the investigators couldn't find any. According to the Supreme Court's expert committee, they have hit a wall. And slowly, everything went back to normalcy. Adani stocks were climbing back, newspapers were chasing other stories. Then, this new investigation report happened. The Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project has found out 2 names who are behind some of these overseas entities who are dealing with Adani stocks. Out of the 13 overseas entities, 2 of them were operated by these 2 persons. Now that the journalists have passed through the wall, the imaginary wall, which the expert committee said that we couldn't pierce, and they have brought us the names, will the India government act? Will the SEBI investigators do what they are supposed to do? Well, SEBI's final report on Adani investigation is expected to come out very soon, maybe within days. We will know it then. That's all from us. Goodbye till we meet again.